I heard something again. I was listening to another podcast, and they talked about the reason why you're not successful in your business is because you don't want to be responsible when shit goes wrong. And they gave the idea, or they gave the example of like a pilot, and why pilots are essentially successful, right? Because a pilot doesn't fly the airplane. That's all GPS navigation, traffic, air traffic control. And the pilot is really just there for if shit goes bad. They have the experience to be able to try to save the lives. They're responsible for the lives that are on the plane. And so they talk about, just doing your job, whether you work for somebody or you work with someone in a particular company, your value is in being responsible and not working for the money, but working to essentially take on responsibility. And when you start taking responsibility and doing your job, the money follows it because now there's value. And so the complaint on that was, why am I paying you money when I still have to show you how to do your job? I don't get paid for showing you how to do something or walking you through how to do it all the time, right? Because essentially I might as well do it.
Yep.
So why would someone pay you to do they pay you for a job that they actually have to show you how to do it all the time, and then they got to turn around behind you and make sure that you did it right? So then it's, well, why am I paying you?
Right, why am I paying you?
Why am I paying you? Because essentially I'm doing it. So they said, learn how to take responsibility for your job so that people don't have to come behind you and double check it, or they just don't feel that you're going to be able to do it to the capacity in which it should be done.
I mean, that goes to two levels, and I love that from an employee standpoint. But at the same time,
you got to coach. You got to coach them originally. You have to set the standard of what it looks like.
All I care about is the framework of what needs to be done. How you get it done is up to you. You only get paid a certain amount.
It said, have some control. Don't take people's money when you work for them and they still have to work after they pay you.
Oh, yeah, no, that's dog shit.
You know what I mean? So I pay you to do something. I shouldn't have to come behind you and clean up after you were supposedly to do it. And I shouldn't have to come behind you after I've paid you and clean up what you've done.
No, but I mean, if that's, you need to fire that person immediately.
No. It was just what I heard on the podcast, right? So I was like, oh man, that's, because we all do it self-consciously. We all, we all do it, and you don't realize that you're doing it. But when you hear it like that, you're like, well, shit, some real shit. And you start thinking like, well, shit, who am I cleaning up after paying them to do something, right? And so it really makes you start to think.
Well, I think a lot of people don't want to be responsible, and that's why people aren't big on social media, because you're going to take a fat L, and you don't want to be blasted.
And that's why they're not successful.
Well, they don't want the smoke, right? They don't want the smoke. They don't. You know how many people cannot handle being LeBron James?
Oh, bro, no,
like that's
he's resilient, dog.
Like that's the smoke I'm talking about. So if you're big on social media, you're posting about your business, like you're doing all of these things, and then you take an L, or LeBron James supports China in some bullshit fucking government situation, but he still took it. The dude took it on the chin and fucking kept going.
You got to, bro. People are wrong. Sometimes we're wrong a lot. And I think that's what's awesome about social media. Like people can say, you could be clout chasing, whatever that may be. But social media is the biggest accountability partner you will ever have, because you can't get on there and tell them I'm starting 75 hard, and then after 31 days they don't fucking hear from you. Hey, bro, you still doing 75 hard? Man, no, man, I don't do it. I stopped because of this. You got to answer to it.
You got to answer.
You know what I mean? And that's what I love about social media, and that's why I share so much on social media. Because Max Maxwell said it when he first got started. He was like, I just documented everything, and he was like, when I did that, it was my accountability partner. He's like, that's how YouTube started for him. It was just recording it to have an accountability, because I knew once it was out there, I would have to do it.
Yeah, and that's awful. It's awful, right? But it works.
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, but that's how people are,
awful, right? It's how people are.
Yeah, it's how people are.
The person,
100% for the person. Because every day I'm like, man, after football practice, I should probably walk around the track a couple times. Oh, when I get home, man, I should probably just go on for a quick 45-minute walk. And I'm like, But when it was 75 hard, I was like, shit, I still got this walk. Like there was no negotiation.
None.
Because I knew I didn't want to start over.
None.
You know what I mean? So like the only difference there was that it was some type of accountability that I had. It wasn't a difference in how I felt that day. It was just like when I go home right now and I need to I need to go on a 45-minute walk. There's nothing holding me responsible to going on that walk.
I think more people than not are afraid of the smoke. A lot of people are afraid of all the smoke. They don't want to talk about their business. And yes, there's one thing to be said for like not putting all your fucking info out there, right? And that's okay. But I think a lot of people like are afraid to where when shit does hit the fan and they do take an L, and that, right? What do people think about you? And that's the next thing, like we talked about last week. Who gives a fuck? Like again, you have to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are going through their own bullshit, and honestly, they can talk shit on you, but they still have their own fucking problems they got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And them talking shit doesn't solve your problems. Like if they could talk shit on you and still solve your problems, like I'd care.
Yeah, they got too much time to be talking shit to me.
Right?
Why you got so much time to be talking shit to me?
Bro.